Hi, thanks for watching. This is Tigo Venturi, Venturi Realty Group with Keller Williams Realty here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I have been doing market updates now for years, looking at the market, and of course, we've been in this very interesting time, really, for especially somebody like me that likes to look at data, track what's going on. And there's been so many things happening that it's hard to get it all out. So I want to give you kind of a high level of what's going on in Albuquerque. Let me pull up my charts here, give you a high level of what is going on in the real estate market in Albuquerque so you can get a sense of it. If you have any questions, reach out to us. You know, a lot of the data I'm giving you here today is backwards looking, meaning this is what happened in previous months, and that's usually the type of data we see is, how many closed sales were there last month, how many pending sales, what were the prices. I've been also very interested in tracking what is in the pipeline, what the buyer demand is like, what the pricing is doing going forward. So I've been tracking that as well. And just to put a bow on that, everything looks very healthy right now from a standpoint of buyer demand. There's going to be a little bit of a seasonal slowdown. We see that generally this time of year. One of the things I watch, and let me just go to this chart now since I'm talking about it, is this chart is the Mortgage Bankers Association. This is purchase application, mortgage purchase application. We're looking at the 2-year chart. And of course, we saw a big drop back in April when everything just came to a halt. Number of people wanting to buy homes slowed down drastically. And since then, since the drop there, going into May, June, July, it's been super high demand. In fact, if you go back and you look at this is a 5-year chart, you can see that buyer demand is as high as we've seen in 5 years. Let's go back even further. Okay, so you got to go back to somewhere back here in '08, just before the bottom fell out. It's probably not a good thing, but the thing is, it's not overcooked. There's healthy demand out there, and there's not oversupply of number of homes for sale, which we did see back then. So let's jump in and look back at some of this Albuquerque data. Number of closings in Albuquerque in July 2020, highest ever recorded in Albuquerque. This is the number of single family homes, that's attached, detached homes in the Albuquerque market. We had, 1691 closings, up 19% from last year. Now, the caveat on that is there was a drop in May of the number of home sales in March or in April and May, but we've come roaring back. If you look at this from an annualized standpoint, we're actually ahead. So this is the same chart, but in a rolling 12-month format. And you can see that, yes, we had, our pullback, but now we're back and we're actually ahead on the 12-month rolling average. So home sales, we could actually I'm having a hard time saying it because it's hard to believe we could actually end up seeing more sales in 2020 than 2019. The challenge there is the number of homes for sale. And so I'm going to bring up that chart because that's where we have a challenge. It's not demand. We've got plenty of buyers out there that want to buy homes. Trust me, they're out there. It's the number of homes for sale. So this is the 3-year chart, monthly chart on homes for sale. In this case, we're saying 1,644. I think today, when I looked at it, it's like 1,500 and something. So the number of homes for sale is really almost at an all-time low. Let's go back to, let's see, we got to go back to, and let me look at something. Yeah, this is correct. I just make sure I got the data right here. So this goes back to '06 is where we have to go to see this low number of homes on the market. However, demand is even higher. Of course, as things slow down, the demand or the number of homes for sale increased up until '08 when things started to go sideways on us. again, very different situations. And then I can go into 5 very strong reasons why this situation is different than that situation, and the whole forbearance issue and the potential foreclosures. But let me just say there's so many reasons that we're not going to have the foreclosure issue that we had back then. Not here, not now. If you want to call me, I'd be happy to talk to you about it as to why. So, but let's look at that closed sales again. I want to compare that. So now we're looking at across the board, the 18%, 19.7% increase, number of homes sold. Now I want to break it down by price range. Kind of in the way here. I guess we can see it. Over here, we're looking at the total number of closed sales. So again, 19% increase from last July, and last July was a 8.9% increase over 2018. However, let's look at this by price range. Over here, we have the 200,000 and under decrease there. Again, that's not demand. It's definitely a supply problem from that standpoint. So a big move in that 2 to 4 price range. We saw a big move in that 4 to 6, and a really big move, get this, $600,000 and above in Albuquerque. That's kind of considered our luxury market, give or take 500,000. 111% increase in closed sales this year versus last year in July. So big move in that higher end. If you follow me on Facebook or follow me on Twitter, you already know that. But that's an interesting stat for sure. Let's look at prices. Average price. We're looking at the entire chart here going back to 2003. Average price, all-time high, $276,000. Median price, same thing, $245,000. And then let's look at price per square foot, because that's really, price per square foot is a really good indicator of actual, if you just look at it from a percentages, how much the prices have gone up or gone down in the entire price ranges, right? Because average has really gotten pushed up. Median's really gotten pushed up because there's just less lower price home selling, which of course, basic math, it's going to drive average and median up. But if you look at price per square foot, now we're looking at last year, let's see, what do we like it? Last year, July versus this year, July, 8.6% increase. If we look at it on a 12-month rolling, we've seen a 7.3% increase in price per square foot, which should be pretty equivalent to the home price index, meaning, homes have appreciated about 7% over last year. And you can see in this 12-month rolling, it really has kicked up here just recently. This goes back again all the way to 2003, but let's look at the breakout by price range. Again, some interesting information here. If we look at, again, overall, which I'm right in the middle of here, overall 7.3% increase over last year, 5.1% increase from 18 to 19. But by price range, the big move is definitely in that lower price point, the 200 and under. That is where I would say 225, 250 and under. That price point is where we're seeing the bidding wars, where 10, 20 buyers want the same house when it comes on the market. And so that is a very common thing that's happening in our market right now, and prices are getting bid up, especially again in those median lower price points. Gosh, what else there's so much to talk about. Oh, I gotta hit on this, because this is free money. Who doesn't like free money? So I was reading the Mortgage Monitor. Everybody reads that, right? The Mortgage Monitor data analysis from Black Knight. They put this out every month. And they look at mortgages in the country. I'm going to blow this up so we can see this. This was the thing that really jumped out at me. So what this chart illustrates is from the beginning of the year, the number of people that are in a situation where they could really benefit from refinancing. So we've got historic low interest rates at, I think 2.88 was one of the numbers I saw just recently. But sub 3%. And as these bars go up, that means that's more people that will benefit from a refinance. couldn't get that word out. It peaked at like 18 million people that could benefit from refinancing. And I'll just give you the highlight down here. It says what they're saying is if all those people finance, well, what they said is the average savings for those people that refinance is $289 a month. Okay, take that by 18 million people. They're saying that's $4.5 billion per month in savings that are just sitting out there for homeowners that haven't taken advantage of these historic low interest rates. So if you haven't refinanced or looked at refinancing in the last 3 months, you definitely should. There's some advantages. I've been doing it on my rental properties, as well as my personal residence. I did it back when they first really dropped down, back right in here, right when they really just got over 3%. Tons of info there. If you, want to follow what's going on in real estate market data, you can follow me on Twitter at Tigo Venturi, or just visit our website, welcomehomeabq.com. Start charts and graphs and data and all the good stuff there as well. I just, leave you with all the housing indicators are pointing in a positive direction. We definitely had a V when you look at it from a total economic standpoint in housing. We had that big dip, and everything seems to have come roaring back, not just locally, but nationally. And obviously there's a lot of unknowns out there in this market right now. However, the housing seems to be in a very healthy position, and barring a, dare I say, black swan event, it looks like housing is going to do fairly well. There is some concerns, obviously, with the potential, all the job losses and people not being able to keep on their payments. But there's so much happening in that world that's helping keeping that from being a huge issue. I'm not too concerned about it at this point. So thanks for watching. If you have, again, any questions, give us a shout.